Ladies and gentlemen, life doesn't always give us what we want. It's not going to serve up opportunity on a silver platter, and it sure as hell isn't going to hand us success just because we want it badly enough. You can wish for it all you want, but wishing won't get you anywhere. The world is full of noise, people talking, opinions flying, distractions pulling you in every direction. The challenge isn't figuring out how to join that noise. The challenge is learning how to rise above it. Let me tell you something, there's a power in silence. It's not weakness, it's not submission, it's not retreat. It's strength, pure strength, pure strength. There are times when you need to speak up. There are moments when your voice must be heard, when you must stand and declare your truth. But then there are times when the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. When the world is pushing you to react, when people are trying to provoke you, when life is trying to take you off course, there is a quiet power in holding your peace. You don't always have to respond. You don't always have to explain yourself. You don't always have to defend your character. The truth is, your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. People are always watching, waiting for you to slip, for you to make a mistake. They want to see you fall because it makes them feel better about their own failures. They want to get under your skin, provoke you, drag you into the mess with them. But you know what? Let them watch. Let them talk. Let them think they know your story. Because you don't need to prove anything to anybody. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. They'll see your worth eventually. And how do they see it? By watching you rise above the noise. By watching you stay focused. By watching you continue undeterred, even when they're waiting for you to stumble. You want to kill them with silence? Then keep walking. Keep doing your work. Keep proving that they don't matter. Silence speaks volumes when your actions are louder than their words. It's easy to get caught up in the drama. It's easy to let your emotions dictate your actions, to lash out when you feel hurt or wronged. But what does that accomplish? What does responding in anger, frustration, and bitterness actually get you? Does it move you forward? Does it build anything? Does it make you better? No, it just gives them what they want. It feeds into the chaos. It stokes the fire. It drags you down to their level. The key to winning is not letting them control you. The key is staying calm, staying centered, staying focused on your mission. The moment you let someone else dictate your emotions, you've already lost. When someone's trying to drag you into their drama, don't play their game. Let them talk. Let them yell. Let them shout. You stay still. You stay silent. And in that silence, you win. But don't mistake silence for passivity. This isn't about being passive. This isn't about letting people walk all over you, allowing yourself to be disrespected. No, silence is a weapon, but it's one that requires strategy. It's about choosing your battles. It's about being intentional with your energy. Not everything needs a response. Not everything needs your attention. There are times when silence is the strongest response you can give because you're telling the world that you know who you are and you don't need validation from anyone else. People will underestimate you when you don't react the way they expect. They'll think you're weak, they'll think you're scared, but that's because they don't understand the power of silence. They don't understand that by holding your peace, you're in control. You're letting them waste their energy while you conserve yours. They're fighting with words while you're fighting with actions. They're trying to bring you down, but you're rising. And in that rising, they'll see that all their noise means nothing. Success doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in the loud moments. It happens in the quiet. It happens in the discipline, the sacrifices, the small actions that nobody else sees. It happens in the moments when you're alone, when you're putting in the work, when nobody's watching, when you're refusing to give up, even though no one's cheering for you. The world will try to tell you that you need to be seen, that you need to be heard, that you need to be heard, that you need to fight for your place at the table. But you know what? You don't need to fight. Just show up. Just keep showing up. The world doesn't always care about your story. It doesn't always care about your struggles or your sacrifices. But that doesn't mean they don't matter. You know what you've been through. You know what you've done. And that's enough. Your silence isn't a surrender, it's a statement. It's saying, I don't need to prove anything to you. I don't need to validate myself through your opinion. I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of. And that's where the power lies. In knowing. In being secure in who you are. In not needing to convince anyone that you deserve to be here. You're here because you earned it. You're here because you've put in the work. And when you walk through this life with that kind of confidence, with that kind of assurance, the noise of the world won't matter. You'll be untouchable because you'll be grounded in your purpose, your values, your vision. The world will tell you that success is about being loud, about being flashy, about being seen. But the truth is, the most powerful people in the world are often the ones who don't have to say a word. They don't have to explain themselves. They don't have to prove themselves. They just are. And that presence, that stillness, that quiet confidence is what kills the noise. It makes them wonder, how is this person so calm, so unshaken, so focused? It's because they've learned the secret. They know that success doesn't come from fighting the noise. It comes from ignoring it and moving forward, regardless of what's happening around you. Don't get caught up in the drama. Don't get caught up in trying to please everyone. Don't waste your time fighting battles that don't matter. Focus on your own journey. Focus on your own goals. Keep your eyes on your purpose and let the noise fade away. Let the critics talk. Let the haters hate. Let the doubters doubt. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You just need to keep moving. And when they're done talking, when they've exhausted all their words, you'll still be standing. You'll still be standing because you've learned the strength in silence. You've learned that the loudest statement you can make is the one you don't have to say. You've learned that the true measure of power is in your ability to remain calm, remain focused, and keep moving forward no matter what. That's the kind of strength that no one can take from you. That's the kind of power that speaks for itself. So when they try to drag you into their noise, remember this: your silence is your weapon. And you don't need to say a word. Silence is a powerful tool for maintaining control, focus, and strength in the face of external noise, criticism, and provocation. By choosing silence, you retain your power and avoid being dragged into unnecessary drama or conflict. Your true strength and character are demonstrated through your actions, not your words. Rather than reacting to every provocation, focus on staying true to your mission and let your results speak for themselves. Not everything requires a response or a fight. It's crucial to conserve your energy for what truly matters and not waste time defending yourself against every challenge or opinion. Strategic silence is a form of wisdom and self-control. Success comes from knowing who you are and being secure in your purpose rather than seeking validation from others. When you are grounded in your self-worth, external noise loses its power, and you can rise above the distractions of the world. The power of silence is often underestimated. People tend to associate silence with weakness, passivity, or fear. But real strength lies not in constant noise and action, but in the quiet moments and choosing to remain still when the world around you is shouting for a response. Silence isn't about retreating, it's about reserving your energy for what matters, about choosing when and where to engage. It's about recognizing that not every moment calls for a reaction and that sometimes the strongest response you can offer is the absence of one. In the noise of the world, we are often expected to speak up, to defend ourselves, to justify our actions, our beliefs, or our decisions. Society, social media, even the people close to us bombard us with the expectation that we must respond to everything. Someone criticizes you, defend yourself. Someone questions your choices, explain yourself. Someone talks behind your back, confront them. And for many, this pressure to always speak, to always engage becomes exhausting. It's draining to be constantly in a state of defense, always fighting to prove yourself or justify your existence to others. But silence, in its purest form, offers us an escape from this cycle. It allows us to disengage from the noise without being pulled into unnecessary conflicts. Silence doesn't mean being passive or absent. It's a decision, a conscious act of control. A deliberate choice to say, I don't need to explain myself to you. When you choose silence, you're not giving up or giving in. You are choosing to stand firm in your own space and your own power. It is a shield of peace that shields you from unnecessary drama and noise. Silence offers you the opportunity to regroup, to think clearly, and to act with intention rather than reaction. It gives you the freedom to stand tall without feeling the need to bow to external pressures or judgments. The power of silence is especially potent when you are dealing with adversity. When life is tough, when people are criticizing you or trying to tear you down, silence is one of the most potent weapons in your arsenal. In these moments, it's tempting to lash out, to defend yourself, to prove that you are in the right. But reacting in anger or frustration often leads to more confusion, more chaos, and more hurt. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to distance yourself from the emotional chaos and take a step back to consider the bigger picture. When you choose silence in these moments, you don't let external circumstances or people's opinions dictate your emotional state. You refuse to let them control you, to provoke you into a response that serves no purpose. By not reacting, you maintain your emotional equilibrium, and you make it clear that their attempts to pull you into their drama will not succeed. It's a powerful form of self-discipline. It's the act of not giving someone else the power to control how you feel or how you behave. The moment you respond in anger or frustration, you have surrendered your power to them. You've allowed them to influence your emotions, to affect your behavior. But by remaining silent, you retain that power. You keep your emotional peace intact, and that is not something to take lightly. Silence also gives you space to think. In a world where everything moves quickly, where everyone is always talking, we often forget the importance of reflection. We are so caught up in the rush of communication, of making ourselves heard, that we forget that sometimes the best thing we can do is to stop and listen. When you remain silent, you create the space to hear your own thoughts, to process your feelings, and to gain clarity. In that silence, you find insight that you might have missed in the rush of the noise. This is especially crucial when making decisions, when you are confronted with a difficult choice, or when you are facing a crossroads in your life. Silence gives you the time and space you need to really think things through. Rather than being swayed by the opinions of others or pressured by external forces, silence allows you to hear your own intuition, your own inner wisdom guiding you toward the right path. The noise of the world can often cloud our judgment, leading us to make decisions based on fear, insecurity, or the desire for approval. But in silence, we can hear our truth, and when we follow that truth, we find clarity and direction. Another reason silence is powerful is because it allows us to maintain focus. In the modern world, distractions are everywhere. From social media to news cycles to the constant ping of notifications, it's difficult to stay focused on what matters. Silence gives us the space to center ourselves, to focus on our goals, and to make progress toward what we want in life. It's in the quiet moments that we can truly connect with our inner selves, with our purpose, and with our vision. When we're not constantly reacting to the world around us, we have the mental space to stay aligned with our long-term goals. In this way, silence acts as a form of protection against the distractions and noise that can pull us off course. Moreover, silence communicates strength. People who are constantly reacting to everything around them are often seen as being vulnerable, unpredictable, or out of control. But when someone remains calm, centered, and silent in the face of adversity, it sends a message of inner strength. It tells the world that they are unshaken, unmoved by the chaos around them. It speaks volumes about their self-confidence, their emotional resilience, and their ability to withstand pressure. Silence shows that you don't need to scream to be heard. Your presence alone is enough. When you can walk into a room or face a challenge and remain calm, and still you command respect without uttering a word. Silence also builds an aura of mystery. People are naturally curious about those who don't feel the need to constantly speak or explain themselves. When you choose to remain silent, you create an air of intrigue around yourself. Others will begin to wonder, what is this person thinking? What do they know that I don't? Silence can make people sit up and pay attention in a way that words sometimes cannot. It draws people in, not by speaking directly to them, but by making them aware of your presence, your poise, and your composure. It suggests that you are someone who doesn't need external validation, someone who operates from a place of deep self-assurance. Perhaps one of the greatest strengths of silence is its ability to force others to confront their own thoughts and actions. When someone tries to provoke you or draw you into conflict, your silence can make them uncomfortable. It makes them question their behavior and forces them to examine their motives. They may wonder why you're not reacting, why you're not giving them the reaction they were hoping for. And in that moment, they have to deal with their own issues, their own insecurities. Your silence, in essence, becomes a mirror for them. It reflects their own behaviors back at them, forcing them to confront the consequences of their actions. There is also a profound level of respect that comes with silence. When you don't feel the need to interrupt or dominate a conversation, you show respect for others. You show that you value their voice and their perspective. By choosing silence, you allow others to express themselves fully, and in turn, you create space for meaningful dialogue. People will appreciate your quiet presence, and they will trust you more because you aren't always trying to speak over them or control the conversation. Silence in this context becomes an act of humility and respect, and acknowledgement that other people's thoughts and feelings are just as valid as your own. The power of silence is not about avoiding conflict or pretending that everything is fine. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending that you don't care. Silence is a tool, a weapon, a strategy. It's about making the conscious decision to withhold your words when words are not necessary, when they would only serve to escalate a situation or waste your time. It's about maintaining your inner peace in a world that thrives on chaos. It's about knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, and in that silence, becoming the strongest version of yourself. In this world, there's a constant demand for us to talk. We're constantly asked to explain ourselves, to justify our choices, to make our case, to sell our ideas. It's almost as if the more we say, the more we are believed, the more we are trusted. But if you think about it, actions speak far louder than words ever will. Anyone can talk a big game, but it's the actions that follow those words that truly reveal what we're made of. Words are cheap. They are easy to say, easy to manipulate, and even easier to forget. But actions, on the other hand, have weight. They leave a mark. They shape our identity. And they prove without a shadow of a doubt who we really are. The truth is, we live in a society that often values talk more than walk. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you need to be seen, to be heard, to tell your story to everyone who will listen. People want to be noticed, to be recognized for their achievements, to be seen as important. And in our age of social media, where everyone is shouting to be heard, it's easy to get caught up in this race of validation. We think that the more we talk, the more we make our opinions known, the more we let everyone in on our plans, the more likely we are to succeed, to achieve our dreams, or to gain the respect we deserve. But the truth is, when you focus too much on talking, you're distracting yourself from what matters: action. There's a saying that goes, talk is cheap, and it's true. Anyone can talk. Anyone can say that they're going to do something, that they've got a plan, that they've got goals. It's easy to share your ideas with others, to boast about the things you want to accomplish. But what really matters, what really counts, is what you do. You can talk all day long about how great you're going to be, about the incredible things you're going to achieve, but it's only your actions that will prove it. Words can inspire, they can motivate, they can push people toward a goal. But in the end, actions are the ones that bring those words to life. The most successful people, the ones who make the biggest impact in this world, aren't necessarily the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who back up their words with consistent, intentional actions. They show up. They put in the work. They move in the direction of their dreams day in and day out, without needing to constantly announce it. They let their work speak for itself. Think about some of the most successful people, whether they're public figures or people you've worked with personally. The ones who are truly successful are rarely the ones who need to talk about their success. They don't walk around bragging about their accomplishments or telling everyone what they're going to do next. They just do it. They keep their heads down, they focus on their work, and they let the results speak for themselves. The more you focus on talking about your plans, the less you're actually doing to achieve them. Talking takes time. Talking takes energy. Talking takes focus. And in that focus and that energy, you could be doing something that moves you closer to your goals. Now, don't misunderstand me. Words do matter. Words can build relationships, provide guidance, motivate others, and inspire change. They can move people, help people, shape ideas. But the most important part is what follows. What you do with those words, how you turn them into action, that's what truly counts. If you say you want to be successful, then your actions must reflect that. If you say you care about something, then you must show it in the way you act, in the way you treat people, in the way you dedicate your time and energy. It's easy to talk about making a difference, but making a real difference requires action. The truth is that there's a disconnect between what people say and what they do. We've all encountered someone who talks a big game, telling us how much they care, how much they're going to change the world, how hard they're working to achieve their dreams. But when you look at their actions, when you see how they're actually spending their time, it doesn't line up. They say one thing, but their actions tell a different story. That's the problem of relying too much on words. They can be misleading. They can create an illusion. But actions, no matter how small, are real. They are concrete. They are proof of what you are truly capable of. There's a lesson to be learned from this. If you want to be taken seriously, if you want to be trusted, if you want to make a real impact, you have to follow through. You have to let your actions speak for you. It's not about how many times you tell someone you're working hard or how many times you post about your goals on social media. It's about what you do when no one is watching, when there's no audience, when the cameras aren't rolling. Are you still doing the work? Are you still pushing forward? Are you still making progress even when the applause isn't there? Think about the people in your life who have earned your respect, whether they're mentors, colleagues, or even friends. What do you respect most about them? Is it the things they've said or is it the things they've done? More than likely, it's their actions. The way they show up, the way they follow through, the way they live according to their values. Their words may have been inspiring, but it's their actions that have earned them the respect they have. But it's not just about the respect of others. Actions also build your own self-respect. When you commit to something, when you say you're going to do something and then follow through, you build a relationship with yourself. You start to trust yourself. You prove to yourself that you can be counted on. You prove that you're reliable, that you keep your word. When you say you're going to work out, or you say you're going to finish a project, or you say you're going to learn something new, and then you actually do it, you build self-confidence. You show yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals, not just in words, but in actions. And that kind of self-trust is invaluable. It gives you the strength to keep going, even when the road gets tough. It helps you stay focused when distractions try to pull you off course. We all know that talk is easy. We've all heard people boast about their dreams, their goals, their ambitions. But the real work happens behind the scenes in the quiet moments when no one is watching. The real work happens when you push yourself beyond your limits, when you sacrifice, when you show up even when you don't feel like it. The real work happens when you keep going, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the results aren't immediate. It's easy to say you want something. It's much harder to put in the work to get it. But that's where the magic happens. Actions don't just speak louder than words, they're more reliable, more trustworthy. Words can be forgotten, misinterpreted, or distorted. But actions, real actions, are harder to deny. They tell the truth. They reveal your priorities, your work ethic, your character. When you show up consistently, when you give your best effort, when you keep pushing, even when the odds are stacked against you, your actions will tell the world who you really are. And that's the real measure of success, not the words you speak, but the things you do. Not the promises you make, but the promises you keep. Not the plans you lay out, but the steps you take to turn those plans into reality. Success doesn't come from talking about what you're going to do, it comes from doing it. It comes from putting in the work day after day, from showing up even when it's hard, from making progress. Even when no one is watching, you will face a constant barrage of challenges, criticisms, and temptations. People will push your buttons, test your patience, and try to draw you into battles that have nothing to do with your true purpose. The trick is not to get caught up in every skirmish, every argument, every fight that comes your way. It's about choosing your battles wisely, knowing which conflicts are worth your time, energy, and attention, and which ones are better left untouched. In the heat of the moment, it may seem like you need to respond to everything, but the reality is that not every battle is yours to fight. Not every disagreement is worth your time. There is a wisdom in knowing when to engage and when to walk away in life. Choosing your battles is about discernment. It's about understanding that there are some things you can't change, some opinions you can't sway, some people you can't reach, no matter how hard you try. There are battles that simply aren't worth your peace of mind. There are moments when you have to decide whether it's worth stepping into the ring or whether you should step aside, conserve your energy, and focus on what truly matters. The truth is, not every fight will lead to a victory, and not every victory will bring you closer to your goals. In fact, sometimes winning a battle can be a distraction from the bigger war that you're actually supposed to be fighting. So understanding when to engage and when to walk away is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, wisdom, and self-control. The world can be a noisy, chaotic place. People are constantly trying to get your attention, trying to pull you into their drama, their conflict, their problems. It's easy to get swept up in the currents of others' chaos, to feel the need to jump in and defend yourself, to argue, to fight back. But what you need to realize is that most of the time, these distractions are just that, distractions. They pull you off course, they steal your time, and they drain your energy. Every time you engage in a conflict that doesn't align with your values or goals, you lose a little piece of yourself. Every time you let someone drag you into their nonsense, you're giving away your power. You're letting them control your focus, your emotions, and your direction. But when you learn to choose your battles wisely, you take that power back. You regain control of your time, your energy, and your life. There are moments when standing up for yourself is necessary, when fighting for what you believe in is crucial. But you have to ask yourself, is this battle worth it? Will engaging in this conflict help me grow? Will it bring me closer to my goals? Or is it simply going to pull me into a cycle of negativity that won't serve me in the long run? Not everything requires a response. Not every insult deserves your retaliation. Not every challenge needs to be met head on. Sometimes walking away from a fight is the most powerful move you can make. In fact, it takes more strength to walk away from a fight than it does to jump into one. It takes courage to recognize that a situation isn't worth your time or energy and to let it go. The key to choosing your battles lies in understanding your priorities. What is truly important to you? What are you fighting for in life? Is this battle going to bring you closer to your dreams? Is it going to help you achieve what you've set out to do? If the answer is no, then it's time to let it go. The battle may be tempting, maybe it feels like the right thing to do in the moment, or maybe it's something that's been building for a long time. But if it doesn't serve your bigger picture, if it doesn't align with your purpose, then it's not worth engaging in. In choosing your battles, you also have to be honest with yourself about what you can actually control. There are so many things in life that are outside of our control. And when we spend our energy trying to change things we can't, we only set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. We can't control the opinions of others. We can't control how people treat us or what they say behind our backs. We can't control the behavior of others no matter how much we try. The only thing we can control is how we respond. And this is where wisdom comes in. You can't afford to waste your time fighting battles you're not meant to win. Instead, focus your energy on the things you can control, the things that matter to your growth, your success, and your peace of mind. Another aspect of choosing your battles is learning to pick your fights based on the level of personal investment. Some battles require a high level of emotional involvement, and you have to ask yourself whether it's worth getting emotionally invested. Does this fight deserve your emotional energy? Is it really worth the mental and emotional toll it will take? Sometimes standing up for yourself or defending your position is important, but you have to pick and choose when that is necessary. You can't afford to burn yourself out on every little fight. Choose the battles that matter most to your well-being and let go of the small, petty disputes that won't serve you in the long run. In relationships, whether personal, professional, or familial, learning to choose your battles is essential. It's easy to get caught up in every disagreement, every difference of opinion. But what you need to understand is that not every disagreement needs to be a confrontation. Not every issue needs to be resolved right away. Sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree. Sometimes it's better to let things go and avoid creating unnecessary tension. When you constantly feel the need to prove yourself, to win every argument, you risk damaging relationships that matter. In the end, it's not about winning every fight. It's about maintaining the health of your relationships and ensuring that you are investing your energy in people who bring value to your life. When you choose your battles wisely, you also recognize that sometimes the best course of action is simply to let go of control. Not every situation requires your input or your intervention. There will be times when you have to step back, let things unfold, and allow others to take responsibility for their actions. You don't need to fight every battle, and you don't need to prove your worth through conflict. Sometimes, silence is your strongest weapon. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Choosing your battles is also about knowing when to stand firm and when to yield. There will be times when you need to be assertive, when you need to stand your ground, and when you need to fight for what's right. But there will also be times when stepping back, being flexible, and compromising will be the wiser course of action. It's about understanding the context of each situation and making a decision that aligns with your values and your ultimate goals. If you want peace, Sometimes that means letting go of the urge to control everything, letting go of your need to be right, and finding a middle ground where both sides can coexist without unnecessary conflict. Choosing your battles is also a reflection of maturity. The older we get, the more we understand that life is full of challenges, and we can't waste our time engaging in every petty argument, every minor disagreement, or every person who tries to provoke us. We learn that there's strength in restraint. We learn that we don't need to respond to every insult or every criticism. We learn that sometimes the best way to handle a situation is to walk away, let it go, and keep moving forward with our lives. This kind of maturity comes from experience, from knowing that not every battle is worth the fight and that there are bigger, more important things to focus on. There will be times when your heart will tell you to step into a battle, to confront someone, to fight for what you believe is right. In those moments, ask yourself, will this battle bring me closer to my goals? Will it bring peace, growth, or resolution? Or is this just an ego-driven conflict that will distract me from what truly matters? It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, to react emotionally and impulsively. But the key to winning in life isn't about fighting every battle. It's about choosing the right ones, engaging in the conflicts that serve your higher purpose, and learning to let go of the ones that are not worth your energy. When you learn to choose your battles, you will find that you have more peace, more clarity, and more energy to focus on what truly matters in your life. You'll stop wasting time on the trivial, the petty, and the unnecessary. You'll stop reacting to every challenge, and you'll start acting with intention. And when you fight, you'll fight with purpose, with strategy, and with the knowledge that every battle you engage in is one that is aligned with your values, your goals, and your ultimate vision. Confidence and self-worth is a deeply transformative force. It's the quiet, unshakable belief that you are valuable, deserving, and capable, regardless of external circumstances or other people's opinions. It's the understanding that you don't need anyone's approval to validate your existence or determine your value. The world often tries to convince us that our worth is determined by what we do, what we have, or how others see us. It teaches us to chase external markers of success, to rely on external validation for our self-esteem. But real confidence comes from an internal source. It comes from knowing that who you are at your core is enough. Self-worth isn't something that's given to you by others. It's something you must claim for yourself. Too often, people tie their sense of value to things that are out of their control, the opinions of others, the success or failure of their projects, how many likes they get on a social media post. But that kind of validation is fleeting. It's superficial. It can be given to you one moment and taken away the next. True confidence, the kind that endures through challenges and setbacks, comes from within. It comes from an inner recognition that you are worthy just because you exist, not because of anything you've done or any role you play in the lives of others. Building confidence and self-worth isn't about becoming arrogant or thinking you're better than others. It's not about seeking out praise or needing to prove yourself to anyone. It's about recognizing your intrinsic value and learning to trust yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions, and your potential. It's about standing firm in the belief that you are enough, even when the world around you may try to make you doubt it. Confidence and self-worth is the foundation upon which you build your life, and without it, everything else falls apart. When you're grounded in self-worth, you stop seeking validation from external sources. You stop relying on other people's opinions to shape how you see yourself. You stop seeking approval in order to feel good enough. Instead, you learn to approve yourself, to trust your own judgment, and to define your own success. When you understand your worth, you stop measuring yourself by how others treat you. You stop taking things personally because you know that their actions are about them, not about you. You learn to separate your worth from external events and circumstances. One of the greatest challenges in developing self-worth is learning to stop comparing yourself to others. It's natural to look around and measure your progress against the achievements of others. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to compete, to outdo one another, to be better than the next person. Social media, for example, amplifies this pressure, showing us the highlight reels of other people's lives while hiding their struggles, failures, and vulnerabilities. But comparison is a trap. It's an illusion that only robs you of your peace and distracts you from your own unique journey. When you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you're telling yourself that you're not enough as you are. You're telling yourself that someone else's success is a reflection of your inadequacy. But the truth is, there is no one else like you. Your path is yours alone. And comparing it to someone else's is like measuring a fish against a bird. It makes no sense. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Are you better, stronger, wiser today than you were yesterday? That's the only progress that truly matters. Self-worth is also about learning to accept yourself fully, flaws and all. We all have imperfections. We all have mistakes, regrets, and things we wish we could change. But it's these imperfections that make us human. It's through our struggles that we learn, grow, and evolve. Confidence in self-worth means accepting all of yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and understanding that these things don't diminish your value. They add to the richness of your experience, and they shape the person you're becoming. When you accept yourself without judgment, you free yourself from the need to be perfect. You no longer need to hide your vulnerabilities or present a false image to the world. You stand tall in the truth of who you are, unashamed of the parts of you that have been through hardships, because you know those hardships don't define you. They've only made you stronger. Another crucial element of self-worth is learning to set boundaries. People who lack confidence in their self-worth often struggle with boundaries. They fear saying no, they fear disappointing others, and they fear standing up for their own needs. But boundaries are not only essential for maintaining healthy relationships, they are also a direct reflection of how much you value yourself. When you set boundaries, you are telling the world that your time, energy, and emotions are precious. You are teaching others how to treat you and showing yourself that you have the right to protect your peace. Without boundaries, you risk giving too much of yourself to others, often at the expense of your own well-being. Confidence in self-worth means having the courage to say no when something doesn't serve you, to walk away from situations or people that drain you, and to prioritize your own needs without guilt. Self-worth also involves understanding that you are deserving of success, happiness, and love, not because you've earned it, not because you've checked off every box on the list of qualifications, but simply because you exist. So many people sabotage their own potential because they don't believe they are worthy of success. They tell themselves they aren't smart enough, talented enough, or deserving enough to go after their dreams. They shrink back from opportunities, doubting themselves before they even try. But confidence in self-worth means recognizing that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer. It means being open to receiving love, success, and joy, and believing deep down that you don't have to prove anything to anyone to deserve these things. When you are confident in your self-worth, you stop tolerating mistreatment. You stop allowing people to walk all over you or to take advantage of your kindness. You understand that you are not here to be a doormat for anyone, and you deserve to be treated with respect. This doesn't mean you have to be rude or confrontational, but it does mean standing firm in your belief that you are worthy of kindness, fairness, and decency. People who truly value themselves will never allow others to devalue them. They will speak up when they are being treated unfairly, and they will take action to protect their dignity and peace of mind. But here's the thing, true confidence isn't built overnight. It takes time, effort, and practice. It requires doing the inner work to confront the beliefs and stories that hold you back from fully embracing your worth. It requires identifying the voices, both external and internal, that tell you that you aren't enough, and replacing them with affirmations of your true value. It requires letting go of past hurts, forgiving yourself and others, and healing the wounds that keep you from seeing your full potential. It requires embracing uncertainty, taking risks, and learning to trust yourself, even when you don't have all the answers. Building confidence in your self-worth is a lifelong journey, but every step you take on this path will bring you closer to the person you were always meant to be. It's about shedding the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity that hold you back and stepping into the fullness of who you are. It's about recognizing that your worth is not determined by your achievements, your appearance, or the approval of others. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and infinite. When you begin to understand your own worth, everything changes. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you're enough. You stop hiding your light in the shadows of self-doubt. Instead, you stand tall, embrace your uniqueness, and go after what you truly want. You make decisions that align with your values and goals, and you trust your intuition every step of the way. You recognize that you are not defined by your mistakes or your failures, but by the strength it takes to get back up, learn, and keep moving forward. Confidence in your self-worth is the key that unlocks everything you desire. When you believe in yourself, when you know that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer, you attract those things into your life naturally. You draw opportunities, relationships, and experiences that reflect your inner confidence. You no longer chase approval or validation from the outside because you already have it from within. Your actions, your choices, and your energy will all align with the truth of your worth, and in doing so, you will create a life that reflects your highest potential. Self-worth is the foundation of everything you do. It's the lens through which you see the world and the filter through which you make decisions. When you trust in your worth, you trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You approach challenges with a sense of purpose, knowing that you are capable of overcoming them. You approach relationships with a sense of equality, knowing that you deserve respect and kindness. And you approach life with a sense of gratitude, knowing that every step you take is an expression of your inherent value.